Hi everyone, we're back with another session of Ask the Rabbi. Hi Rabbi Zah.
Hi Tina.
So my question today, it kind of piggybacks off of our last session. How do Jews absolve themselves of sin?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think that when we think about absolution or atonement, often we think about ritual and we think about maybe standing in front of God, and in the Jewish tradition it actually starts with people. So the first thing, if you're thinking about trying to absolve yourself of sins, to think about who was the person who was hurt, who is the person against whom I committed the sin, and you have to go to them. You have to ask for forgiveness from them, and you have to confess to them. So it's not really enough to confess in some ritual context. You really need to go to the person you've hurt and say, I recognize that I did you wrong, and how can I make it up to you? How can I actually make a difference in our relationship? And once you've done that, then the tradition says you can approach God and say, because that instance with that one person was one time, but this might very well be a pattern of things that you've done. And so the point of approaching God is to say, I want to move beyond this. I've settled it with this person, but I want to move beyond this pattern. I want to sort of eradicate that from myself. And so that's the point of connecting with a power higher than us, to try to help us move in a different direction, to adjust the way we're living and be different. But it only works after, right? The rabbis teach that God can't absolve us of sins if we haven't made up with the person that we've sinned against. So there's no use in going to God, even on Yom Kippur, to stand in front of the open ark doesn't do us any good if the person that we've hurt is still hurt. And we have to turn to people first, and then we can think about how we can approach God and move forward in a better way.
Oh, thank you, Rabbi Zeph. Make sure you join us for another session of Ask the Rabbi.